Hey guys, and welcome to another episode of Factorio Build Workshop. I believe we're calling it. It's been a little while. Scheduling and stuff with both me and Zuri's schedules are didn't really line up, so we're only getting to it now. But here we go. We're going to go over some oil builds. There was a submitted design left, except the blueprint was missing like half the stuff, so I'll have to talk to the submitter of that and try to get the full version. But anyway, we're going to start here, and Zuri will pretty much take it from here. We just have a build here that is not so good, and then we have two builds over here that are good. So you can go ahead and take it, Zuri.
Okay. Yeah, I see this all the time on multiplayer maps, on streams, in YouTube videos. I see it on Reddit, in the forums. This is your pretty standard, let's build a mega oil build, I guess.
Right.
And my first complaint is, of course, storage tanks. I don't like buffers, but this goes far and above beyond. So if you really, really want to store oil, I highly recommend you do it in barrel form, because a chest full of barrels is about 90 times as much oil as, per square as using storage tanks.
Right, and that's quite significant. And, yeah.
Right, for this build, unless you're using a ton of light oil for solid fuel or something, this will never, ever, ever use enough light oil to keep plastics running, pretty much.
Right, so this, like this light oil thing will end up backing up, right?
Yeah, light oil will back up, and then as soon as the light oil backs up, all the refineries turn off because they don't have any place to put the light oil.
Right, exactly. And then obviously you run out of petroleum and your important stuff like plastic and batteries aren't made. And the funny thing is a lot of people's instincts, and even mine are, and I have to kind of stop myself, is it'll back up, right? And even with this many storage tanks, they'll be like, well, it's backed up, let's just add 10 more storage tanks, right?
Yeah, I do see that a lot. People will completely back up the light oil, and then their 30 or so storage tanks for gas will be completely empty.
Yeah, and then they just add more storage tanks on light oil, and then it backs up again, so on and so forth. And as you mentioned, barrels are better because barrels don't back up, right? Because I mean, they're not a storage tank. You just barrel them up, store them in a chest like normal, and then unbarrel the oil and feed it in.
Yeah, the cost of storage tanks is a lot more than you think. Because if you need to move this for some reason or it gets destroyed, that's a lot of resources you just lost. But I've seen people do that. They'll tear down their storage tanks just to keep oil flowing.
Yeah, which is a huge waste. Because, I mean, you can be using it for cracking and stuff, and it's just... It's a lot, because, I mean, really quick, for this amount of refineries, or even something close to this, you would need a huge amount of cracking, right? To crack all the light oil you're going to get so it doesn't back up.
Well, there's 15 refineries here. I think that's standard. You need 7 per 5. So that's 21 light cracking you'd need to keep this running.
Yeah, and that's a lot. This is like, I think, 2, 4, 6. This is 7 here. So you would need 3 times this cracking thing we have here. And it's just kind of a pain. So try to stay away from storage tanks when possible. Now, really quick, just so no one gets confused, like for water, I don't think it's big of an issue. I do see some people use storage tanks for water with like steam engine setups or whatever. And that's probably fine, right?
It's not efficient or effective, but it'll kind of work. We can go over that in a different episode if people really, really want.
Yeah. Okay, so we move on to this one. You can go over.
Yeah, this is actually one of my favorite builds. I built it with when I was doing the Lazy Bastard achievement, and I only had one refinery until I got Blue Science up and going. And it turns out that flamer fuel is exactly one, what's it called? One
It-
cycle? One
yeah.
for one?
Right. And it's good to have quite a bit of it, because, I mean, now flamethrowers are really good.
Yeah, so this flamethrower fuel plant, flamethrower ammo will eat all of the heavy and light from the refinery, and it's really useful. And then you can spit down all the gas down to this little build here that builds your plastic and your batteries you need for your blue science, just to get blue science going to get advanced oil. And once you get advanced oil going, then you can either upgrade this to the next build or build a second oil facility, which is what I would do down here.
Yeah. So this one is for advanced oil, and you have the ratios pretty much perfect. This cracking heavy into light is pretty much perfect for the amount of refineries we have, and then same with the light to petroleum.
Yeah, it is perfectly balanced here to consume oil and water and spit out gas and not have anything left over, nothing not ever operate.
Yeah, and as you see, there's no storage tanks. There's no storage tanks for the oil, crude oil either. And I asked Zuri off screen before this is, can't pipes back up? Well, obviously they can, like we have here. But if we were actually making things like plastics and batteries, and we had ratios for those pretty much correct, then as you mentioned to me, Zuri, this would really only stop if petroleum gas was full, which means that your important things like plastic and batteries were full, and then at that point the whole thing would just shut down. It wouldn't back up ever because of light oil or heavy oil.
Yes, and a common mistake I see when people are planning these out, for some reason they think that chemical plants and refineries have the same crafting speed, so they'll build it 417. But chemical plants have a speed of 1.25 and refineries have a speed of 1.0, so you need 5 refineries to 1 to 7 to get the balance right.
Yeah, that's a very good point, because a lot of people, even me, I've made that mistake quite a few times. It's just automatically thinking these have the same crafting speed. They don't, and it makes a pretty big difference. So this here is good, this 5 to 7 and then to 1. Because, I mean, if you have some decent oil wells or whatever, 5 isn't, ridiculous or anything, and it will probably feed your needs for the most part. And it works well.
Yeah, it consumes about 2 oil per second per refinery. So this will eat about 10 oil a second.
Okay, interesting. Yeah, good to know. So, 10 oil a second, like I said, if you have some decent oil wells, or if you just have a ton of depleted oil wells or speed modules or whatever, this is not too much to ask for. Something like this, on the other hand, to even get all these working, you would need a pretty ludicrous amount of oil. Which, I mean, obviously, you set your resources high, whatever, then you can, but we still have the issue that we mentioned before with all the storage tanks and all that.
And this is even operating all the way. We have a...
Yeah.
What is this? 66 oil per second. This is spitting out at double speed. So like 130-ish. It's spitting out 130, but these can't keep up. Because you can't flow that much oil to the pipes, actually, is the problem.
Yeah, that's actually the problem, is we're pumping enough oil, but it can't flow that much oil through these pipes, so you can see that some of these just don't work. And really, I think that covers it. This is, there you go, not such a good design. We kind of went over why, and then Zuri's very nice, compact beginner or starter design here with one refinery, and then a more advanced one over here with correct ratios and such. Obviously, you don't have to set up the pipes identical to this if you don't want. You should know that. But 5, 1, and 7, and then you can just get your right ratios for how much plastic and batteries you'll think you'll need for your base's requirements.
And the reason I like this so much is that if you're using barrels and bots, you can just copy and paste this down and put it somewhere else, like we did in our playthrough.
Oh yeah, that is a very good point. Yeah, in our beginner guide playthrough, we use barrels and bots essentially, like you said, and we would just have a unbarreling thing like here or whatever, and have the bots bring in the full barrels, unbarrel it, put it here, and then yeah, we just blueprinted this whole thing, and you can just stamp it down multiple times across the base wherever you need it. And I mean, as you can see, like, this is really compact actually for an oil setup compared to what a lot of people end up doing, especially if you use tanks. This is really quite compact.
Yeah, 3 of these will outperform that massive build to the left that I see all over the place.
Yeah, exactly. So there you go. I mean, if you do this, again, we aren't like just hating on people, but in terms of efficiency and having things actually work, this is not the best thing. So there you go. Try to stay away from tanks, storage tanks rather, and there you go. Next time we will go over some other type of build. Please submit any if you have them. We're pretty much out of submitted builds at this point, so we would love to have you submit them. It can be anything, science, smelting, whatever, trains, anything like that. And we will go over it. So, any last thoughts?
No, keep them coming. And if you can, keep a valid blueprint of it somewhere, even if it's paste bin. That'll be just fine.
Yeah, for sure. So there you go, guys. As always, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Any questions, comments, leave them down in the comment section, and we will respond to them. And there you go. Until next time, we will catch you later.
Later.